Hello programmers and developers, welcome back to WebGlow. In today's tutorial, we'll be exploring something very important in JavaScript: variables and data types. These are the building blocks of every program you'll write. And don't worry if this sounds confusing, I'll explain it all step by step. Plus, we'll build a small project to help you understand these concepts better. So let's get started. What are variables? Variables are like containers in JavaScript that store information. They allow you to store data and later use it in your program. For example, if you want to store someone's name, you can use a variable to hold that value. In JavaScript, you can create a variable using the let, const, or var keyword. The most common and modern way is to use let or const. We'll explain the difference later. Okay, let's create a variable using the let keyword. For example, let name equal Alice. To display that name in the console, we need to log the variable. So we use console.logname. Now press Ctrl+S to save everything. And as you can see, the name gets displayed in the console. What we just did is, we created a variable called name, stored the value Alice in it, and displayed that value in the console. When we use the let keyword, it means the value of the variable can change later. For example, we could change it to Bob. So now, let's update the value. Name equals Bob. Now press Ctrl+S to save everything. And there you go. Now the console shows Bob instead of Alice. Okay, now delete everything and let's create a variable using the const keyword. For example, const age equal 25. Now let's log the variable with console.logAge. Press Ctrl+S to save, and as you can see, we've got 25 in the console, which is the value we set. When we use the const keyword, it means this variable can't be changed once it's set. In this case, age will always be 25, and you can't update it later. If you try to assign a new value to it, you'll get an error saying you can't assign a new value to a constant. Alright, now that we know what variables are and how they work, let's create a simple project that greets the user and welcomes them to WebGlow. First, let's create a variable called name. This is where we will store the user's name. A variable is like a box where we can keep information safe and ready to use later. Now, to get the name from the user, we'll use something called prompt. This is a built-in function that shows a little box asking the user to enter their name. Once they type it in, their name will be stored in the name variable. Then we use console.log to display a message in the console. Now let's say console.log, open parentheses, backtick, hello, $, curly brace, name, curly brace, welcome to WebGlow, backtick, close parentheses, semicolon. Let me explain that. We start with console.log to tell the browser, hey, show this message. Then we open parentheses, which is where the message goes. Now we use backticks to start a special template. Inside we write hello, and then we add $, curly brace, name, curly brace. This is like putting the name we stored earlier right into the message. The curly braces tell JavaScript, take whatever is inside the name variable and put it here. After that, we just close the parentheses and add a semicolon to finish it. So, if the user typed Bob, this whole thing would print, hello Bob, welcome to WebGlow in the console. Alright, that wraps up our lesson on variables. Now, you know how to store and use information in your programs. In the next lesson, we'll dive into data types, where we'll learn about different kinds of data you can use in JavaScript, like numbers, strings, and more. So don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss it. See you in the next lesson and keep coding.